for Mahomes is Michael Jordan as he approaches the three-peat. Yesterday, Mahomes was asked what it's like to be compared to the likes of Jordan and another legend, Kobe Bryant.
More than anything, is you see the competitors that they are, is that they're going to do whatever it takes to win. That's what you have to be in order to have success in professional sports, is a competitor, someone that's going to put in the work every single week. And watching them and listening to things when they talk about, that's helped shape my career on how I have to work. And obviously, it's a long way, I feel like, still for me to go to be mentioned with those guys, but I'll try to do whatever I can to be close enough as I can be.
That's as good an answer as you can possibly have, right?
He gives good answers.
How are you supposed to answer the question? People are comparing you to Michael Jordan. Perfect. But the reality is the comparison is appropriate.
Yes.
Right? Because
we're getting there.
He is right there at the top of the list of the best players, and he is right there at the top of the list of the most inevitable winners, the impossible to defeat champions. Yeah. And that's what Michael Jordan was, and that's what Mahomes has become.
Right. You remember, I mean, there were times when you thought the other team was better. The other team was better tonight. But this team had Jordan, and that's why they won the game. And Mahomes has become that guy to the extent that anyone can be in the NFL, where there's 22 guys on the field at a time instead of 10, right? Like it's much harder to be that. But he does seem to be that factor that when you look and pick these games, you're like, my head is telling me 20 different things. But then I look and see Mahomes is still on the Chiefs. I got to take him.
I thought RC's tweet from a week ago when he talked about Burrow, Lamar, Josh Allen all going to the Hall of Fame with no rings. To me, that is the definition of Patrick Mahomes' greatness. Those three quarterbacks may go down as three of the greatest of all time, and they can't touch him. That to me shows you how great he is.
Well, I saw someone on TV do an essay about that exactly. Oh, it was me last week. And those three guys are Charles Barkley, who made it to one finals, and Michael Jordan averaged 41 points a game in that final when the Suns had home court advantage and Barkley was the league MVP. Karl Malone, whose teams had home court advantage against the Bulls, and he went 0-2 against Michael in the finals. And who was Patrick Ewing. Do you know how many times Patrick Ewing played Jordan in the NBA playoffs? 5. Do you know how many times the Knicks won? 0. That's Josh Allen. So the point is, this is that team of rivals. This is exactly the way it's setting up. By the way, Mahomes is 29. When Jordan completed his first three-peat, he was 30. The similarities are eerie.
Well, does Mahomes, is he going to go play baseball and give some other guys an opportunity to win? Like, I know he has his repertoire, but I would compare him more.
His dad was a baseball player.
Yeah, major league baseball player.
I would compare him more to Magic Johnson because his success is early. Remember, Michael Jordan had to go through the Pistons and Larry Bird, and he was losing. You know, this is early success. We've never seen somebody be so dominant so early in their career. Now, the question is, can he sustain it? Because when you talk about being the greatest of all time, Tom Brady, gets that because of the titles, but also the longevity of his dominance. Once his skills started diminishing physical, he started to win with his mind.
I think the answer is absolutely yes, guys. To me, they're ahead of schedule. Outside is Travis Kelce. Who's their go-to receiver? The answer is we don't know. It's a grade of, it could be DeAndre Hopkins, it could be Hollywood Brown. And they moved on from Tyreek Hill, who, to me, unquestionably the most explosive player in the NFL, and they have not missed a beat. Imagine if they go out and get a bona fide #1 receiver in his prime. It's really remarkable what they're doing with, really, outside of Travis Kelce, a group of fairly average skill players.
If you look at Brady's career, which is the football player to which he is going to be compared, Brady won a bunch of Super Bowls early. Then he went a decade without winning one, and then he started winning a bunch of them again. So Mahomes is way ahead of that schedule. So the answer to the question is this. If he wins the Super Bowl next weekend and retires the following day, which obviously is not going to happen.
Unlikely.
No, he's not the greatest of all time.
Right.
But what wouldn't you be willing to bet that by the time it's all said and done, he's going to be, because he is so far ahead of the pace that Brady was on at the same time.
But Bart's point is the key one. Like, how long do you sustain it? How long do you want to? Right? That's the other thing. I mean, like, Brady is very exceptional, like, to want to play until age 45 because he burned inside to win like that. Like, is Patrick Mahomes still going to feel this way 10, 15 years from now? Like, we don't know, and I'll bet he doesn't either.
But that's why I say you talk about the first three-peats, you talk about Magic, right? You talk about the 80s, how the 80s was pretty much the Celtics and the Lakers.
Pistons, and then the Pistons.
Yeah, and the Lakers and the Pistons, right? So is Josh Allen, is Lamar Jackson, are they the Michael Jordans that are learning how to win by losing to Michael Mahomes, losing to Mahomes, and then come back and learn how to beat Mahomes and his squad later in his career?
You know what's just fascinating me in this conversation is you would say one of the reasons it could end is, well, Andy Reid's close to the end. But then you look at Pete Carroll. He's like 8 years younger than Pete Carroll. So, like,
He got something special in that chewing gum, though. I'll tell you that.
my point is, like, there's something special between, obviously, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. But I got to think, like, if I'm Andy Reid, like, if I was thinking about retirement, why would I give it up now? Like, I got great coordinators in place. I got a great core. So, to me, like, that kind of goes hand in hand, much the way we always talked about Belichick and Brady.
And he just got a new extension last offseason. He's not going anywhere anytime soon, especially as long as this guy is his quarterback. Yeah. But, you know, what they've built, you know, even if Andy were to decide to go, and again, I don't think he is, like, I feel like they've built something there that could sustain. It's incredible to watch what they put
But you never know with these coaches because as you get older, it's just, we're all fathers. You understand how much this game takes from you. Sometimes you want to give it back to the game. I think another conversation we should be having is Andy Reid potentially going to be the greatest coach of all time by the time this is all
That's why I thought, like, people want to say Belichick wanted to come back to catch Shula. I almost think Belichick wanted to come back so Reid didn't catch him, which he's coming.
He's going to do.
You know, as a corollary to this, have we ever seen in one division 4 coaches with the resume of Jim Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, Sean Payton, and Andy Reid?
No.
It's legendary.
The answer is no. It's the most wins by any division that had.
I mean, there's no weak link amongst those 4. I mean,
no, but they're all looking up at Reid and at Mahomes, and we will see if Mahomes is able to win another one come week from Sunday. Meanwhile, here's our guy Joe Fortenbaugh, once again our betting expert with the best bets. What do you like on Kansas City in this game?
How many passes will Patrick Mahomes complete in this game? The prop is set at 23.5. We're going to bet the over. Why? Philly deploys a too high shell on defense. What does that do? It prevents big home runs down the field. What happens, though? How do you counter that? Short, just like Jaden Daniels on the first drive in the NFC Championship game last week. Speaking of which, last 2 quarterbacks Eagle defense has faced has had no problem going over the 23.5 completions. This is how Mahomes and the Chiefs are going to live in this game, right? You want to stay on schedule. You want to move the sticks. You want to keep your defense on the sideline, rested for the fourth quarter against Saquon Barkley. Short, intermediate passes that stack up to 24 completions, and Mahomes is going to oblige. 6.8 yards per attempt this season, the lowest of his career. He's happy to take it done.
Which is why I've got my eye on Kelsey. We'll do Greeny versus Joe a little later. Kelsey in the middle of the field, keep the chains moving. Kelsey is
Capital and FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. They love their football in this part of the country, and this crowd is ready to go as their guys will match up with the Buffalo Bills. Two teams more than ready to get this one started. And we are underway from FedEx Field. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
And a productive gain out to the 14 after starting at the 7. It's a gain of 7. 7 yards the pickup there. 3 yards remain for 2nd down. Fitzpatrick now. Slings this deep from McLaurin. It got his man complete. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. Quite a show of arm strength right there. That was in the air for a long time, and it was on target, too.
And from where we sit, if you had told me that that ball was somehow going to get from point A to point B, I would have told you no way. I mean, that was an absolute cannon shot, and he still dropped it right on the money, too.
And that ball traveling 68 yards in the air, according to Next. Bringing it out of his end zone, Isaiah. And all deep in his own territory. He coughs up the football.
That's what it is, baby. That's
and he will score. Touchdown, Washington. John Bates. Excellent work there to get in on the touchdown run. And Washington has tied the ball game with the extra point still to come. Now it's Hopkins to add the extra point. And with that, his guys take the lead here by a point. And they'll try again, 2nd and 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people would think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
3rd and long, it's Smith escaping the pressure right. Slings this deep. This is caught inside the 15. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington.